Hi world, here we are at last. Keep It Real show is back after about a month or so holiday. I'm so thrilled, I'm so excited, and I'm so sure that all over the globe, you are excited that we are back. We'll be hearing from you. When are we beginning? When are we coming back? I see people already streaming in, and it's not yet even the top of the hour. I know you've been waiting. When will we begin? When will we begin? Here we are. Here we are. So before it is 8 p.m. East African time, let's do our usual business of sharing so that we have an uninterrupted show. Right now, it's time to share. Wherever you are, those of you that are already following, begin to share, begin to share. Those of you that are on Facebook, make sure you follow me. Make sure you follow me. Yes, I see we're already on Facebook. Veronica, I've sent you the link. So kindly check your WhatsApp right now, Veronica. You will see a link.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Have you seen a link? Excellent. So that link, I want you to massively share it. Let Australia continent know that you are alive and well today on my show. Let the Europe continent, America continent, Africa continent, Asia continent, whichever other continents, let them know that we are live and we are making waves on this Keep It Real show. We've been on holiday for about a month. From I think 20th, yeah, absolutely, 20th of December, we decided to go and rest a bit. But now we are back, and what a privilege! You are the number one on our show for this year. So we are happy, we are excited, and I want to give some people time to share. If you are on our Facebook, please like my page. If you like my page, you'll be getting updates of what's going on in Nairobi, Kenya here. We are changing the world. We are changing the narratives. I tell you, we are bringing bulldozers in this show, and we are bringing timbers and calibers. Nigerians, we call them timbers and calibers of men and women who are making waves in the world, who are changing perspectives, who are saying we can do it, and we are doing it. So please make sure you follow my page. If you're on my Facebook, go there and click follow. And if you have not liked my page, like my page immediately. If you like my page, it means you like me. You know, if you're on my page and you don't like my page, it means you are on my page, but you simply don't like this woman. So I want you to like my page. And those of you on YouTube, I want you to quickly share the link with all your friends that are on YouTube, that are on your WhatsApp groups. Share the Facebook link, share the YouTube link, and also subscribe to my YouTube. I tell you, we are speaking life. We are speaking the things that be not as though they were. So you are a product of your thoughts and your speech. So I want you to please subscribe to my YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube. We are also on Twitter. So we are live on 3 social platforms tonight. We are live on Twitter. And so those of you on Twitter, you can help me to like it and you can retweet. You can retweet. This show is going to blow your mind. This show is going to inspire you, is going to empower you, is going to leave you saying, wow, I can do it. I can do it. And so please share. We have just barely about 3 minutes to introduce the young lady that is with me here tonight. We have a few minutes to introduce her, but I want you to get on board in the area of sharing. I know some people will be logging in at 8. So when it is 8, I will also remind you to share. Please subscribe. Today, I spoke to some of you. I said, I don't want to be pastoring an analog church because I'm not an analog pastor at all. I am a digital pastor. And so I told you that you guys should also find your way into Instagram. I said that's where the elites are making waves. So we also need to find ourselves there. Even if it's a 1 minute or 2 minutes or 30 minutes of this show, We put it on our Instagram later when we are done. We edit it and put it on Instagram. Let the world know that Africans are changing the narratives. Africans are changing the narratives. And success is not defined by age, and it's not defined by color. It's defined by the brain and who you know. And I'm talking about God. So it's important that you share. I want to welcome some of you who are already here, and I'm seeing your comments. Let me welcome you. The first on the list is Paris Muniafu. Paris, I know you will like this show because you love to see things move. And so you are welcome. I want to welcome Evelyn Wafula, Brenda Nasambu, Blessing, Anne Kawa, Jumoke Saibe, Regina, Pietro, Jolly Josephine, Lulu, Centrine, Alfred, Rosie, Tommy, Wendy, Velma, Clary, Nancy, Shiro, Roslyn. Let the names keep coming. Algo, V, all the way in Sweden. And when you are signing in, please tell us where you are signing in from. Let's know where you are signing. I've seen someone from Sweden. So if you're from another place outside Nairobi, please let us know so that we know where you are coming from. Sue, Cheru, Yemisi, Florence, Martha. Let it keep coming. Let it keep coming. We have 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. Caroline, glory be to God. Phyllis, you are welcome. Every one of you, you are welcome. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. And I want to believe you have shared, because already we have 122 people. And therefore, I want to believe you have shared, you have shared, you have shared, you have shared. Sally, you are welcome. Stephen Blessing, you are welcome. Sally, Saho, Juma, Ali, Roslyn Okech from Canada. Roslyn, God bless you, watching from Canada. James Kosan, God bless you. Yemisi is watching from Nigeria. God bless you. Yemisi Fajuke from Nigeria. God bless you. Wow. Chi is watching from Congo DRC. Glory be to God, from Congo DRC. So we have Sweden, we have Nigeria, we have Canada, we have DRC, Congo, we have Kenya. At least 5 countries here. Let them keep coming. Let them keep coming. Let them keep coming. I know we get from other countries. All right. This is now 8 o'clock East African time. And here we are. Now, for those of you who have just logged in, please don't forget to share. Quickly share. Share. All of you share. Make sure you share the link. Share. Let your friends, your groups. And I know most of you are women and you have so many women groups. They need to know that business is possible. To set up an organization is possible. To get into real estate is possible. To take dominion in your career is possible. So let them share. Please share. Don't forget. I will keep on reminding you in between to share. All right. Here we are right now. Another fellow from Congo, Chigozie. God bless you. Another fellow from Liberia. My goodness, all the way from Liberia. That's Robert James. Glory be to God. Wow, glory be to God. Liberia, Congo, US, Canada, Nigeria. Can you imagine? We are reaching the world. All right. So tonight, on the show with me is a young lady. You can see how young she looks. Veronica Murima, Deboer. She's going to tell us, somebody else has signed in from Switzerland. From Switzerland. Glory be to God. From Switzerland. Hallelujah. I'm too excited tonight. I'm too excited. So, you will tell us the right pronunciation of that Deboer. It's either Deboer or Deboer or Deboer or what? Then you are going to tell us exactly how it sounds. Now, Veronica I am so excited to meet you. I watched your interview on Daring Abroad with Alex Chawanda, and you know, Alex is a friend of mine. When I went to, somebody is watching from US, somebody from South Sudan. Yes, you know, this show is called Keep It Real Show. So it's not a place where preaching where I have to finish before benediction. No, I can interject at any time. So we want to welcome you, Maureen Situma from USA, and we want to welcome you, Sheila from Sudan. Glory be to God. All right, so Alex is a friend. When we went to Canada to minister, he was at the airport to cover us on arrival in Canada, in Corner Brooks. And from there, he covered our programs that we held there. And it was aired on KTN, how Kenyan women from us now are making waves in Canada. How we went to Canada and we were making waves. Somebody is watching from Kingdom of Bahrain, hallelujah. Somebody is watching from India. Then Alice Royale is watching from Australia. I think is where you are. It's called Pret in Australia. She's called Alice Royale. So somebody is from Kingdom of Bahrain. Somebody is from India. Oh my God, by the time we are done, I think we should be covering the entire continent tonight. All right, so please, as you're coming in, keep sharing. So I watched your show with Alex. To be honest, I saluted. I quickly sent the link to our songs. We have 2 songs. One is in the US, one is in Canada. I quickly sent it to them. I told them, watch this space, watch this young lady. And my husband watched it, even himself watched it. And we were so impressed. And here you are live. And so I don't want to tell your story. I will be prompting the questions. You will tell your story. So ladies and gentlemen from across the globe, let's welcome our own very Veronica Murima Deboer. Let's give her a hand of applause. Let's celebrate her. You know that anyone that comes on this show is somebody. So let's just celebrate. Let's celebrate. Wow. All right. So now the show is open. You're welcome. So who is Veronica? Over to you, Veronica. Just give me a little who are you? Just your introduction. Just that. Who are you? This name Murima and Deboer, they are not sounding the same way. So just give us a little bit of your background, who you are.
So thank you, Pastor Esther, for having me. It's a pleasure. Happy 2021. 2020 has been a disaster, but we've overcome it. Now it's 2021. So my name is Veronica Murima Deboer. So the Murima is my family name, my dad's name, and Deboer is my married name. You can see it stands out. I don't look like a Dutchman, do I? So I'm a wife. I'm married with 2 kids. A lovely daughter, Georgia, and my son called Anthony. They're 6 years old and just turned 4, Anthony. I'm a public servant. When I mean a public servant, I'm a registered nurse and a midwife. So I do serve the public, and I still work to keep my registration. As you know, when you're employed as a nurse, you have to keep up your registration, or you lose your profession. And I don't want to lose it because I've worked so hard for many years to get those qualifications. So that's me as a public servant. I am an entrepreneur. So I run my business in Australia. I've been running it for the last 12 years. A little bit about myself. I moved in Australia when I was only 20. So I've been here for 20 years. I left the continent of Africa, but I've never left Africa back. So we are always thinking about Africa, what we can do to give back to the community. And that's me. You'll get to know me down the track.
Wow. So you have been in Australia for 20 years now.
Yes.
My goodness. So actually, if you left Kenya when you were 20 years old, and you've been in Australia for 20 years, it means you are just 40 years old.
I just turned 40 in December last year. So,
you turned 40 last year, and you have achieved all the things we are about to talk about.
Yes, they say 40 is the new 20, so I'm still 20.
Wow. So that's Veronica for you. Veronica,
yes.
You are from which tribe in Kenya?
So I'm a Kenyan. When you're in the Western world, you say you're a Kenyan. But to define my original my roots, my dad is a Kikuyu from the central region of Kenya. So they came from Dagoretti, Ndonyo, and my mom, she's from the Rift Valley, so she's a Pokot. So so I have a both mixture of a Kikuyu and a Pokot in me. So that's part of me, and I come from a family of 6, so I'm the number 5. I'm the second youngest in the family.
All right. Can you just, in a nutshell, like 2 minutes, tell us your upbringing, your background, your family background, because we want to see whether it has anything to do with the shaping of who you are today. Want to see whether there is anything about your family background that contributed either negatively or positively to who you are.
So yes, so as I said, my dad is a doctor, so he's a physician. He studied in Brno, the Republic of Czech Republic during the 50s. So that's my dad. He's a doctor by trade, and my mom is a registered nurse and a midwife. So you can see where the genes come from the healthcare background. So my parents are all in the healthcare. They met during the younger days when my dad used to work in the public system, and my mom used to be a nurse. On the younger days, that's how they met. We were 6. They had beautiful 6 kids, 3 boys and 3 girls, and I'm number 5. So I grew up in Mombasa. So I know Mombasa. So Mombasa is in my heart. So I grew up in Mombasa. I went to Loreto Primary School, Covenant in Mombasa. That's where my early days in my life, I did my primary school there. When I finished primary in 94, so I went to high school, South the Sea High School. So I finished my high school in 98. So you see, I'm at the 80 girls, so I finished 98. And then from there, I wanted to go to America. But thank God I didn't go to America, not in any negative way. I did not get a visa by then because America was a hot place to go. So it was a very strict restriction. I wanted to go to Notre Dame University because that was a prestigious university. You hear about Notre Dame. And I wanted to be in the Notre Dame University, if not Harvard, because Harvard is very competitive. So I had a choice of Notre Dame. I missed a visa to go to America. I applied in Australia. Australia was very new in the continent of Africa. People didn't know much about Australia. And, I knew about Australia with kangaroos running on the street. And it's, you think of Australia, that continent. So I applied for a visa in 2000, 2000, I got my visa. As a student, I was accepted in Notre Dame University, which thanks to my parents, my dad, helped me so much, encouraged me, and he wanted me to be a doctor, but not all the time what your parents want you to be. You go for it. I had a passion in the medical field, in the healthcare industry, whatever, as a nurse, anything regarding health. And that's how my journey began. Before that, I used to work for my mom and dad. They used to have a clinic called Likoni Wanainji, because we used to grow up in Likoni. So that's my root. So I used to work for my mom in her clinic. And so that's where my entrepreneur mind came in, because I used to, bring business for my parents, and my parents loved me because I used to be a good public speaker, and people used to enjoy the time when I was back in Kenya in business.
Yeah, I think that gifting that God has given you, that gift is still working in you, because I see some people saying oh, you have a good voice. Some people are already commenting, you have a beautiful voice. So now you have said it, that your voice, your public speaking, was bringing customers to your family. So they loved it. And that voice has actually made a way for you. All right. Now we have gotten your background. You are from Kikuyu and Rift Valley, but raised up in Mombasa, and your parents in the medical practice. And so that shaped perhaps your passion for medical profession, because perhaps you were able to connect with the needy, people that were physically needy, and you were able to help. So let's now leave Kenya. Let's leave Kenya a while, for a while. You now migrated at 20 years to Australia. What did you go to Australia to do? And how was life when you got there at the initial stage?
Oh, you know, when you're young, 20, you're full of beans. You want to take the world, you know, you want to move away from your parents, because that's every teenager's dream, to drift away from the parents they have in life. So yes, mom and dad took me to the airport, and I remember that day very vaguely. You know, it was like yesterday. They said goodbye, and I started my journey, my journey as a 20 years old, landed in Australia in the winter, the first winter ever, experienced the cold. So bang, there I am, landed in Perth, and the first city I went was in Fremantle. So Fremantle is a harbour, very popular, and that's where Notre Dame University was located. And I spent a couple of years in Fremantle. The time when I came in 20 years ago in Australia, it was very new. There was not a lot of foreigners, the African people. We had a lot of you know, Chinese and Asian Oriental background, but Africans were very, very few. You know, I remember those days when we used to see the Africans in the train. We used to, you know, smile and thinking, oh my goodness, this is a sister, because, you know, there was very few of us, you can count. So it was, we had that sisterness, brotherhood. You know, we had a couple of Nigerians, couple of different African nationality, and we all clicked. And then it was not easy, you know, coming when you're young, and you have to make those tough decisions, do or die, you know. So those are the decisions you have to make when you're young. And yeah, survived. Suppose I'm here now. I don't regret coming here when I was 20.
Wow. So you went into School of Nursing, right?
Yes, I went to do my bachelor's in nursing in Notre Dame. So actually, in 20 years ago, Notre Dame was new. They just opened the Notre Dame, the faculty of nursing. We were the third year, we're the third intake of nursing students. So we were a class of 50. We are very few. And Notre Dame now is a very popular university. Everyone wants to come to Notre Dame because it's one of the best universities to offer nursing in Australia. So now we have, you know, 200 plus nurses. So I'm proud to be one of those first nursing students to come out of Notre Dame. So yes, I came to do my bachelor's in nursing in Notre Dame.
Tell me, you mentioned that when you got to Australia, you started doing odd jobs, cleaning, doing housekeeping in hotels. And I wonder, how can you be doing housekeeping and odd jobs when your parents are medical personnel in Kenya? Does it mean they didn't have enough stuff, enough money to be sending you? What made you to leave Kenya to go to Australia to start doing odd jobs, doing housekeeping in hotels? Say something about that, because sometimes we believe that once we get to the Western world, we begin to pick up money from the streets.
I wish. So yes, so everyone thinks in the Western world is a land of milk and honey, and even I told Alex Chamwada. But guys, when you want to come to the Western world, parents, be prepared. The students, be mentally prepared, because, you know, I work in the healthcare industry and I've seen people suffering from depression, mental health. They turn into alcohol because the expectation for them was very high, and when they come over here, the reality strikes. So, getting back to your question, Esther, why did I have to do the odd jobs? And while my parents were in the healthcare industry, they're, physicians, they have money. Well, my parents, they're different kind of parents. They don't spoon feed you. So they said, Veronica, here's your pocket money, and just make sure you become self-sufficient. And if you can't, you come back home. We'll be welcome with open hand. So when your parents tell you that, you have to up your game and, become a young lady and become self-sufficient. You don't really have a choice but to, work, do those odd jobs to pay your rent, because in Australia or in the Western world, we pay rent weekly. And I remember those 20 years ago, we used to pay $100 a week. So that was equivalent to 10,000 Kenyan shilling a week, because the dollar was very strong, that it was 200 shillings. So there was no way my parents was going to send me rental money and money to spend and shopping. But, I do appreciate what dad and mom did for me. They defined me, they refined me to who I am, because they made me realize life is not, just milk and honey. You have to work hard and be that person you want to be. So I don't regret, and the only thing I regret is doing housekeeping, where I've never done, those kind of odd jobs. So, operating those machines was not an easy gig, but we got there. We started knowing the tools of how to work in housekeeping jobs.
Wow. Now, our audience, if you want me to go to the next question, you better share. Daddy has just alerted me that some of you have not shared, that we are quite a number online, and some of you are busy enjoying the show. You are not sharing. I am not moving an inch until you have shared. You are joking. What we are doing here, we are giving you information you're supposed to pay thousands of dollars. Haven't you seen my colleagues who do these things online, and they tell you to access the training? You pay $500, then they give you the link. As a matter of fact, there was somebody I was to host last year. He insisted I must pay before he talks to you people. I told him I don't have money to pay, and I'm not going to ask people in pandemic to pay. So I didn't host him. But for him, it's like, how can you be doing this kind of a show and it's free information for people? So there is no way we can be giving you such information and you are stingy with sharing with other people. So please touch share. Touch share. Somebody has said, Mommy, I'm sorry, I've shared. Thank you, my dear, for apologizing. Somebody else says I've shared. So if you people want me to move on, share. If you don't share, for we, I'm not moving an inch. I'm still in Nairobi. I won't even put my leg on the accelerator to go to Australia now.
I'm sharing with my audience too.
Yes, you're sharing with your audience. That's what life should be. We freely you have received, freely you should give. Information is expensive because we went to school to learn the things we are doing. But if we have the opportunity to be a blessing to others on a social platform, why can't we do it? Social media platform. Why can't we do it? All right. So let's move on right now. I thank God for the way you have brought into the show your the discipline that your parents gave you. They did not allow you to go to Australia to be a burden to them. You were not in Australia, trying to abuse them, that they were not taking care of you. When we were in Australia, 2 years ago. We came to do a meeting in Canberra, and I say called Canberra or Canberra, so however people pronounce it. And we were to come back to Melbourne last year and also go back to Canberra, but the pandemic stopped us. Now, when we were in Australia, I got a shock at the suicide rate. Suicide rate. You mentioned it now that some people have mental breakdown. It was a prayer there. They were telling us to pray. People were taking their lives like this. And it was unimaginable that people that were living in a place where Africans, some people here are praying and killing themselves to go to Australia. They are here praying, fasting, talking to the embassy by faith, pouring anointing oil everywhere. to make sure that they get to Australia. But in Australia, there were people that were committing suicide. And you have said it again, that there is a big mental health challenge. All right. I want us to get into the company that you started. I wish you had asked me, you wanted me to play some videos. Unfortunately, I don't know how to do it. If we had spoken like yesterday or 2 days ago, I would have brought my son on board. My son is a media guru. He's actually a guru. So I would have told him to be on this show, and we would have sent him earlier those videos, so that as we are doing, he will be projecting. But I believe that in the future, when we come back to the show, we can still go that direction, whereby he will help us to project some of the things. One of the videos I saw about you is the kind of health facility you have. And you have employed white people. Your employees are the whites. What? And as young as you are, can you say how you came about that kind of facility to start almost an equivalent of a hospital in that place, and you have employed the black people, the white people, and everybody is moving in your own direction? Tell us how you started it. How did you get the funding? Is it through savings? I mean, what actually happened that brought you to this kind of a global platform?
So yeah, Esther, thanks for recognizing me in that direction. So when I finished my undergraduate, Notre Dame University, so that was 2004, I landed into a first job with the Department of Health. So that was wow, the Department of Health of Australia did give me a job, and that was in Bentley Hospital. So Bentley Hospital is one of this tertiary hospital in WA. So I went there as a new nursing grad. So I spent there for a year, and it was about worked with a lot of mental health clients, medical clients, and all sort of general nursing. But after a year in 2005, 2006, I got an opportunity to work in one of the biggest hospital called Sir Charles Gardner, one of the biggest hospital in this region of Australia. So my passion was for the neuroscience, because I was very intrigued with the brain and the spine, so being young, full of beings. So that was my area I liked initially. So I worked in the neuro ward, neuro ward. So people with brain injuries, it could be stroke, anything regarding the brain, any disorders. So I stayed there for a while, and I was just working, being employed with the government, just a public servant, giving the service to the general public. So as time goes by, you want to be different, because a nurse, everyone, people can, you have to have the empathy, and you have to like that to be a nurse. You can't just become a nurse. But I wanted to be different, not just a nurse. I wanted to specialize in something. So with the years to come, I thought, I developed a passion with women and health, women, children health, because I thought that's a very an area where it's a vulnerable people, women having children, the young kids, getting born. So I went and did my postgrad. So I got taken into Curtin University. So this is one of the biggest university, prestigious university in Western Australia. And I did my postgrad in midwifery science. So I became a midwife. So as a general nurse,
became a midwife.
Yeah.
I'm coming to your marriage story. But were you married by the time you became a midwife?
No, I wasn't married.
All right, we will get to your marriage life. Let's just go on.
So anyway, I cut the story short. So I became a midwife. I got a job in King Edward Memorial Hospital. It's one of the biggest women and children hospital in Australia. And I was very intrigued because it was very competitive to get into there. It was very selective because all the complex health issue regarding women when they're pregnant, they go there. So I was selected over there, and I was intrigued. I was young, 25, going into that environment, 25, 26. So I stayed in King Eddie for a couple of years. But in 2009, when I finished my postgrad in cutting, and I just told myself, I can't be an employee for that long. I love to be employed with the government, but what can I do with all that knowledge I have? As a nurse, what can I do to give back to community? And not just to be employed and clicking at 7 o'clock in the morning and finish at 3 o'clock. That's your shift. I still have brains, and I have the entrepreneur brains in me. So my husband those days, my boyfriend, before we got married, we went to Sydney for a holiday, for a weekend. And I used to work my permanent job with the government, and then I did some agency shifts. I'll just tell people who don't understand what agency is. So agency is where you get some extra amount of money working with other companies. They send you around to this different hospital for you to get, extra bucks, extra money. So I've been working with agency, and I saw how it operates, and I thought maybe that's something I can start as a business and be able to have my own employees and my own staff, send them out there, and then make a little bit of, take the opportunity. So my husband told me, why can't you just start your own business? And I thought, oh goodness, when someone says start your own business, it's a challenge. It's a bit scared because you're used to get paid every week as a salary from the government. Why should you give yourself stress? Because business is not easy. So I thought about it, and when we came back from Sydney, we started the business, and the business is called Oscar. It was born in 2009 during the worst year, the recession. So it was the best time to start a business because everyone was unsure of what's going to happen in the world. So I got into that time, and I was very competitive. My pride, got a couple of tenders, business, and that's how I started my Oscar group, and it's still there. We have been running it for 12 years now.
Wow. So you actually created your own company, formed your own company at age what?
I was only 28.
28. By 28, you already had your own company.
Yes.
I think before we move further to other things, because it's not only the healthcare, there are other things you're doing. I'm about to get into that. What will you tell young people? At age 28, you created your own company, formed your own company. You were thinking that this job of 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. shift, yet after that 3 p.m., I have brains. What is my brain doing after 3 p.m.? So you were restless. You needed to stretch yourself. You needed to do more. And here you landed yourself in a healthcare stuff. What can you tell young people that are busy crying every day, God, I need a job, I need a job, and not just young people, even people that are of age? Of course, I'm talking about elderly people who are, it's like if they don't get a job, that's the end of the world. They can actually kill themselves. They can get depressed. What can you give to them before we go into the other aspect of what you do?
For me, I can tell people out there who are watching this show, or they will be watching this show, being employed is a privilege, but it's not the end of the world. And when you're employed, it's good you can pay your bills, but there is a lot of opportunity out there you can be able to grab and go for it. And when you're going for it, don't go half-heartedly. Give it 200%. And it's not easy. For the first 5 years, it was very challenging, but don't give up. You have to have faith in what you're doing, and you believe in your products. You can't go wrong when you're your own master.
How many staff do you have now?
I have over 400 stamps in my books.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, you see the way I'm laughing. I'm laughing like a big woman, and I'm a big woman. So we are still, you cannot even log out. You can't even log out. I believe that God is going to challenge somebody today. When you are done with this show, you go to the Lord in prayer and ask your brain to wake up. You say you have 400 staff. Can you say it again? Let me be sure I didn't hear 40.
So I have over 400 staff in my company because it is in the healthcare industry. So those are the casual staff, different staff from clinical staff. So those are registered nurse, enrolled nurses. I have therapists, so occupational therapists and physiotherapists. I have support workers, carers. I have chefs, cooks, cleaners, laundry, anything which can keep a healthcare running. So if someone is being admitted in somewhere, there is someone who can offer that service. So I do have that. So those are my over 400 plus casual staff for different professionals. And then I have over 14 staff in the office, full-time staff. So, and it's getting busier.
I saw you people. I saw the video. I saw the machines. I saw everybody busy. I saw you moving up and down. I looked at you. I said, this little girl, my God. I mean, 400 staff is like somebody having a whole congregation employed in church. A whole congregation employed. My goodness. My goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, hold it there for 1 second commercial break. I want to give you an announcement. Then we come to her love life. And from there, we will transit to what she's doing right now in Kenya. You'll be shocked. That is not just about 400 staff, but something again she's doing in Kenya. We've got to challenge our brains. In this new season, we've got to challenge our brains. And I tell you, there is a God that can take you further than where you ever imagined that you would be. Tomorrow, don't forget we are praying. We are praying on this page on the topic, God, cause your face to shine upon me. It's going to be a serious time of prayer to acquire the face of God. I can tell you, some of us go through rejections in life. We go through stress in life. We go through ignoring by people because we carry faces that when we appear somewhere, instead of people seeing the faces of human beings, they are seeing other faces. There are faces that when people see, they turn you down. And that's why God wants you to acquire his face. There is a face you carry. You can never be turned down in life. You can never. You can take it. You can bank my word. There is a face you carry in business. People will leave all other people and they are looking for you. And people are wondering, why you? Why you? What is it about you? It is the face you carry. There is a face you carry in your office. People will be wondering, how are you climbing in promotion here? It is your face. There is a face you carry. Relationship will be going like popcorn. Pa, pa, pa. And people are wondering, why is it that everybody just wants to connect with you? It is your face. Don't miss our prayer tonight, tomorrow, 8 p.m. We shall be pleading with God to cause his face to shine upon us. On Sunday, on Keep It Real show, hey, you will be shocked. We will be hosting a guy by the name Pete Odera. Pete Odera is an African kid that was an African kid with no money to finish college. But rather than sit and mope about his misfortune, he went ahead to accomplish things that would only be dreamt of. That is his accomplishment in life. Pete Odera is only what you dream. You won't even know that it is possible. And yet, this guy accomplished it and has won several awards. Several awards. He has been called a true father. Pastor Hanan Giga, Director, Badili Center. The general, they've called him General, the true father, the godfather of contemporary gospel music, and all those stuff. You've got to hear about him from his own self, and see what this guy has done with UNEP, with presidents, with all over the country, all over the nations, winning awards here and there, from a place born in a family that he could not even afford to go to school. But today, he sits with presidents, he won the international global awards. You need to listen next Sunday. Don't miss our show next Sunday. Don't forget, we are going to the final segment of this show. If you have not shared, share. I want to say thank you to those of you. Immediately after I announced it, my team told me, just by that announcement, 70 people shared more to what has been shared. I want to believe that some of you, out of excitement, you have forgotten to share. Please, we are going to the last segment of this show. Make sure you share it right now. Be a blessing to somebody. We are creating time for you. You are not even creating time. You are only touching. Just share and you will share. All right. Now, your health center has over 400 staff. I was told that you are building scores of apartments at the beach in Mombasa. You are building scores of apartments at the beach in Mombasa, actually beach apartments. And each is going for 16 million Kenya shillings. Tell me, how did you again combine, how did you move from again health center still running to real estate business?
So, Pastor Esther, yes, as I said, I've been away from the continent 20 years, 20 years, like half of my life spent in Europe, in Australia, and, so, leaving the continent is the choice you make. I mean, no one wants to leave the continent to come to the Western world, but we're going out there to achieve some of the things we can't get from Kenya. But I've always thought about Africa. I've always thought about Kenya. How can I give back? I know there's a lot of people who leave the continent and they say goodbye, But to be honest, Pastor Esther, we are running away from Africa. People are coming to Africa to take over the continent, to grab what was remaining there from the colonization period. So, out there, guys, the diaspora market, always remember, go east, go west, home is the best. We are Australian citizen, Kenyan citizen, but at the end of the day, Kenya's in our mind, the continent is in our mind. So, we can't start projects in Africa. We can't start building our name or empires without money, capital. So I had to work, become an entrepreneur in the Western world. I made a couple of little dollars here and there, but I saw the opportunity in Africa. You always have to think the opportunity. So there is a lot of opportunity in Africa, and it's how you're gonna grab it and how you're gonna change. As you say, you need to change the narrative, because the African narrative is a continent of people are poor. They live in huts, but for us, we change the narrative into the Western world, and a lot of other diaspora people are changing the narrative. We stand there proud, and we're ready to fight, but we're telling them that Africa, that's the place to be. So, cut my story short. So I got a little bit of money, and I thought, what can I give back to the continent? So my husband is a builder by profession. He does building, so he has the experience for over 30 years. So we do real estate in Australia. We build houses, we sell them, we do rental properties, and why not? I have a husband who can bring something to the continent, and the only person who can channel that energy is through me, as a wife, to say, why can you bring that the Australian taste of real estate in the continent? Because what we are lacking, Esther, in the continent is the quality. I'm finding, we come to Kenya, we go to the hotels, we stay for rental properties, but the quality, the finer details of the house is lacking. And I thought I found that opportunity, a niche market. And that's how I broke into the real estate. So I had a property, I bought this property, a beach property, when I was only 24, when I was still a student, and it was very cheap, but I'm always a risk taker, Esther. I always believe you have to be a risk taker in life, or you're gonna say, why didn't I try? So I'm always a risk taker. Obviously, doing real estate in Africa, it's a big gamble. And that's when I told my husband, why can we give back to the community? It's all about giving back to the people. And because Mombasa has always been in my mind, I started a company called Angio Group. So I'll tell you about what Angio Group stands for. So Angio is ANGEO. So AN means Anthony. My son is called Anthony. And GEO is Georgia. So those are my two kids. So I named the company Angio Group because, they mean a lot in me, in my life. So that's how Angio Group was born in 2018. We did our groundbreaking in 2019. So this is a real estate, an apartment. It's a ground plus 7. So it's the ground, the basement is parking. So, and it's 4 per floor, times 7, 28 apartments. Very spacious, very contemporary, and it's all about quality, because I think so. The continent has been deprived, being conned. People take advantage of the people. They're not giving the Africans what they're paying for, So, and for me as a Kenyan, a patriotic, an ambassador for Africa, I want to give back to the people. If they pay me 16 million, I want to give them the quality of 16 million. So I'm not going to compromise any structural side of things. The architectural is up to the contemporary, the Western world, and and I'm giving it 110. So we did that. Apartment is in Severin. It's only 5 minutes away from the beach. It's a walking distance of the Severin Hotel. It's not far from Pride Inn, Holiday Inn. 3 minutes to Nyali Shopping Center. 4 minutes away from Mtwapa. 2 minutes to walk to the main road. So it's very central, very in a very serene environment, very quiet. And I think so people will love it. I think so they will love it because it is very spacious. The square feet is 2,500 square feet. The apartment A, the front. The apartment B at the back is 2,350 square feet. You can see it's very spacious, very modern. And look, I believe coming home, you need to come home, and it's your own temple, a resting place. So your house needs to be a unique place so you can think, relax, enjoy your time with the family. And that's what I'm giving Kenyans. That's giving back to the community and giving the opportunity, because with this coronavirus, the COVID pandemic, a lot of people lost their job. Family broke down because of relationship of hardship. And, I was bold enough to continue pushing on. Obviously, I have to be mindful for the society because, I don't want them to be having COVID, So I had to stop down for 4 months between March and August to, play safe, because I really care about my employees on the ground. So I've created job opportunities for the young Kenyans who are working in Georgia. So for me, that is, I'm happy. And then it's not only the first time, it's just the start of my venture in Africa. So there's more coming.
Wow, wow, wow. If you are a Kenyan, can we celebrate a fellow Kenyan before we move on? Can we celebrate a fellow Kenyan? I love to celebrate people. Can we celebrate a fellow Kenyan? If you're an African, do ra 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 ra. Wow. Now, Veronica, somebody may say, oh, because you married a white man. I think you say your husband is a Dutch.
My husband is Australian, okay. But I just, descend of most of the people, from Europe, but
correct,
he was born
correct.
In Australia. Yes.
Okay. Okay. And when you were getting married to him, you didn't have any problem with your parents? They didn't really mind that you married an Australian? Was there any tension?
I think so. The funny part, when my dad met my husband, Tony just so funny because my dad, the first thing was like, oh, how about the dowry? And I looked at my dad and said, you know, chill out, you know. So no, because my dad grew up in Europe during the 50s, and he grew up in Czech Republic, Czechoslovakia, that was called. I don't think so. He was very open-minded. My mom was open-minded. You can see a little bit of, you know, that awkward moment. But I think so. They gave my blessing. They gave me the blessing to go ahead. So yeah.
All right. So I know the mentality of some of us Africans. Somebody may be saying, "Oh, she married an Australian, so she was a gold digger. She dug the gold and got it. So she doesn't understand what we are speaking about now, that things are hard because she had a white man." Can you mention whether actually it is the white man, your husband, that made you who you
are? Absolutely no. We women, we are very powerful. We empower each other. And, you know, when we want something, we go for it. And for me, I went to Australia for education. I finished my postgrad when I was only 24 or 23. I did my undergrad when I was only 23, 24. I went and did my postgrad, and that was my career. So I was very focused. And when I met my husband, 2009, I'd already had my business. You know, he encouraged me. But at the end of the day, it's my brains, because that healthcare industry, it is me who has a strategic, you know, all those strategic side of the business. It is Veronica. So the healthcare, this education I gained during my uni time, my experience is what I brought there. And you can have a white person, you can have a millionaire person, but if you don't have the brains and the drive, you're gonna be just home being a housewife. I don't mind being a housewife, but if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to be aggressive and use those brains and opportunities. So I saw the opportunity on my husband. He's a builder, and that's how I took advantage of the situation. I said, wow, you're doing building in Australia. Why can we bring that brain of yours to the continent? So I had a choice of switching off my mind and I said, oh, I've left Africa, you know, that's their problem. But I've come back to give the opportunity to the people. And it's not only the real estate, I'm venturing to training, because I am an actual training organization. I have a college in Australia. So, you know, I run colleges in Australia.
Wait. Apart from the 400 staff you also have a college.
Yes, I run a training organization. So, you know.
This lady, I have, by the way, I have a movement called Queen Esther's Generation Movement. Is a serious women outfit where we empower women, and the women there are timbers and calibers. I tell you, they are not jokes. But we have an arm of it that is Queen Esther's Next Generation, young girls, Kenyan young girls, ages 13 to 20, where we mentor them to begin to change the narratives about the youth of our nation and Africa, that the youth are not meant to be in drugs, they are not meant for sexual abuse, they are not meant for, you know, all those kind of dropouts and them going to marry elderly men that are supposed to be their grandfathers. So we are trying to change the narrative for these young girls. And we are so excited. Yesterday, we had a fantastic, fantabulous gathering of stars and queens meeting. And one of the testimonies was a young girl that was part of the girls that we have mentored that got a full scholarship to go and study leadership outside the country. I think she's in Mauritius also. And she's a Kenyan. And we train her up. You know, when we bring them there, we let them know that there is a dream in their life. And they must live their dreams in their life. I want to believe that one of these days, we may have you, even though Australia is far, because you are thinking of giving back to Kenya, giving back to society. I believe that apart from structural investment, you can also invest in people. So we will be getting you also, because at 20-something, you started doing a lot of things at 20-something. And look at where you are. These are the kind of stories our children need to hear again and again, so that they will know that they cannot glory on their parents' achievements, on their parents' glory. They need their own. So this is very important. So they're calling you back to talk to our children at the right time. Now, when you were speaking and some people caught it, you mentioned that outsiders are coming to Africa to finish the little things that were left. People are coming to Africa to finish the little things that are left. And we Africans are watching them come, and they are finishing what is there. I believe that as people are watching us tonight, if you're an African, you make up your mind that that which is left for you, an outsider will not take. You have to be part and parcel of what is left. And if possible, let's go and recover what has been lost. Now, before we go to the final in a few minutes, you mentioned about brains, and I love what you said. You said some people, even if you marry a billionaire that is a white man, because there are people, they feel that all I need is a white man. I just want to marry a white-skinned man. Just give me white man, I go. If you marry a white man, whether white, black, green, yellow, or pink, you marry, then your brain is not transformed. There is nothing in the brain. I tell you, it is a matter of time. The white man, the green man, the black, the yellow man will kick you out of his life. Because I believe that these days, men are looking for women with brains. They are looking for women that can bring something on the table. So even though your husband is a builder, but it was not after you met him that you discovered, I've met an Australian white man that is a builder. I think there is nothing. No, you came into that relationship with something on the table. He brought his own on the table. And now you began to think, to utilize the opportunity to advance the agenda of the family, and in return, give back to the society. Wow. I'm going to ask you something about your marriage in a few minutes. But just allow me to give the final announcement. Don't forget tomorrow evening sacrifice, 8 p.m. God, cause your face to shine upon me. Don't forget on Sunday, we'll be hosting Pete Odera. Pete Odera, let me just read something here. He's a double Kenya Festival Award winner, a Lifetime Achievement Group Awards nominee, and 2008 winner of the Peace Award, along with Wakeya Pamoja Foundation he co-founded. Pete Odera is a much accomplished artist, to say the least. And you will now see the kind of things that this guy is doing currently with his foundation, and yet he came from a background that you may not want to reckon with. Pete's folk song, Watch, was recorded on a compilation album released by Integrity Music Cry of Africa. Also featured on this album is Lionel Peterson, Sing Africa, and Darlene Search, Protege Jan Prize. I'm sure next Sunday will be bombastic because I will want him to sing some of his songs. So it will be a combination of sing and talk. Sing and talk. Make sure you don't miss it. As we begin to round up, tell me, is there a cultural problem with a Kenyan marrying an Australian, an African marrying a white? In your marriage, you know, this our show is called Keep It Real. Do you see some cultural things that you don't think you should have gone for, or for you, those things are there? Just tell us a little bit of that mixed marriage.
Yes, of course, Esther. You know, being in Australia, being in the Western world, obvious there is racism happening. But when you grow up in Africa, you don't see it till when you go to the West, when you mingle with the who's and who's, and you are the who and who. You're a black woman or a woman of color, you're young, you're in the industry, you know, obvious, you know, you can see that, how did she get into here, why and how, people are asking you. And not everyone, I mean, fasting as a woman is a challenge, because you're another target. You're a dark skinned person, that's another challenge. And in the Western world, you're competing with the men, because that is it's business, So, and then, the weird thing, when I first met my husband in 2006, so we met 2006, and I remember that dinner, the first dinner when we went out. In those days, with those less Africans in Australia, so you could see people turning their heads around, and I didn't see that. I didn't see it, but my husband said, "Oh my goodness!" Everyone turned because it's full of Westerners in that restaurant. And then that's when you feel, oh my goodness, there's an element of, are you being accepted in the society? But at the end of the day, there's always people out there who are racist, who don't want to see interracial marriages, and it's something you just have to deal with. My in-laws, my mother-in-law, Ina, Deboer, thank you. She's beautiful. She looks after me. I mean, we have our own differences sometimes, but that's mother-in-laws. But in general, she's pretty good. My family, Tony's side from Holland, I've visited them in Holland. My brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, they've been beautiful. They've been very supportive. So I can say I've been lucky. Not everyone has that kind of support from the in-laws. But you see, Esther, I'm a very bold kind of a person. You see what you get, and I don't back down in that kind of environment. So, I don't accept it when I see any racial thing happening, because, I'm very inclusive. As a business owner, as an employer and an entrepreneur, you have to be inclusive, regardless of the race, the gender, the sexual orientation. You have to be fair and give people an equal opportunity. So, my answer is yes. There is challenging marrying a white person, because you can feel sometimes when you're out there. But at the end of the day, I'm happy. We're happy.
Do you miss ugali and sukuma?
Oh, Esther, I cook ugali. In fact, today I had ugali. I cook ugali for my kids. I cook chapati and maragwe, nazi, because I grew up in coast, so all those nazi. My kids eat ugali. They eat the African dish. They speak Swahili, so I train my kids. My kids speak the language, so when I'm home with them, I speak to them in Swahili. So I never lose touch, because I know they're the next generation. So I wanted them to know the roots where mom comes from. My daughter came to school in Loreto when she was 3 years old and 4 years old. So they spent a semester there. And look, they're not losing the African touch. So their mom, they speak the language. So
right in Australia, you taught your children Swahili.
I talk to them in Swahili. I tell them about matoke, githeri, ugali. They eat that. I show them how to do it. The thing, my husband laughs. He supports me. But it doesn't mean that in the Western world you forget about your roots. So they're pretty good.
Wow, you are really an African lady. You are really proud of Kenya. You are making us proud. Finally, the last thing I want to ask you. Some ladies are asking, what is the secret of your youthful appearance? They say nobody will believe you are 40. They say, when you appear, they thought you're a small girl of 30 years or thereabout. When they are 40, they said, what? 40 what? So they are asking, is there anything they need to copy in terms of cosmetic, in terms of what do you do that? I think that's the last word I want to ask.
About the youthful look.
Yes.
They say life begins at 40. When you're 40, you're like 20. Yeah, that's what they say. But I do a lot of exercise. I'm a gym junkie. I do running a lot. I eat healthy. So it's just and drink a lot of fluid. Don't frown. I mean, sometimes as a mother, sometimes it gets really worked up, but I look after myself. I don't allow myself to, put on weight. I have checklist in the morning what I need to do. So yeah, you look after yourself. You don't just eat rubbish.
You really do. You really do look after yourself. We can actually see it on you. You don't look 40 at all. You look amazing. And so to our audience, our wonderful viewers, people that have watched us tonight, you have had it all. You have had it all. Even when you find yourself in a foreign land, I have discovered that quite a good number of people are following from outside Kenya. Wherever you find yourself, you can make it. You can make it. Have the mind, the positive attitude that you can make it. Try to think. The God Almighty created our brains for us to think. In our QEG in March, you will be hearing how you are wired to succeed. Wired to succeed. These are part of the stories that prove that God has wired every one of us to succeed in life. And you can begin now. Don't say, hey, I've wasted all my time. Oh, I'm 60, I'm 35, I'm 40. Yeah. She started at 28. Don't beat yourself. You can wake up today and actually you can recover all. And you have had, take care of yourself, especially we women. Let's take care of ourselves. Some of us are 40, but we look 70. Some are 60, they look 95. Some are 35, they look 50 plus. And when you look at them, they say, yeah, it is life. No, you can take care of yourself. Make sure you eat the right things. Don't just eat anything that present themselves to you, that passes by. Study your body. Know the things that add a lot of weight to you and try to avoid them, to economize them. If you have tendency to blow like me, you have to make sure that you are selective in eating. Make sure that you take cosmetics that fit your body. She may not be spending a lot on cosmetics, but you see how her face is radiating. And I think above all, the peace of God. She says she's happily married. One of the things that bring a lot of tension to people and age them is when there is no peace in our marriages. I pray that instead of us fighting every day that this man has not brought 10 shillings, he has not brought this, let both the man and the woman, both husband and wife, you have seen how they are working together. The husband is a builder, bringing his career, herself is bringing the brain, they are complementing themselves, and they are doing a lot of real estate business in Australia, and she's doing her healthcare, and she's running a school. Can you imagine? We want to say a big thank you to all our viewers, but more especially to you, Veronica. We are grateful, we are glad. Thank you. In 1 second, what is your parting shot?
That's a parting shot. Don't give up. There's always, the sky's the limit. Don't take negative affirmation from people. Just avoid those negativity, because negativity can bring, it's like toxic. So always be positive, and when you're doing something, give it 110, not just, oh, let me give it a try. Give it to their heart, and trust me, you're not gonna go wrong.
Thank you so much. So what is your time? What's the time there, so that I know whether I'll tell you good morning or good night?
Over here, it's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God. That shows the kind of fellow you are. Are you people hearing? Africans, Kenyans. This is 2 a.m. in the morning, and she's able to be on this show. 2 a.m. when people are snoring, she's here talking to us. That is the sacrifice we are making on this show, and that tells you her commitment to her work and to her calling. That even 2 a.m., she can be awake to be on a show, and she's wide awake. She's alert. She's not dozing. Thank you so much. We'll allow you to catch a little sleep before you go to work in the morning. Say hi to your husband. And I want to believe that we will get one of those houses by the beach. By the beach. And so myself that have hosted you, assuming I want to buy, what percentage of discount will you give me for hosting you on the show? What percentage will you give me as a discount?
I will give you a good percentage, Pastor Esther. I don't want to tell you on the show, but I'll give you a good one, and I have to make sure I give you the 4th floor or the 5th where you can see the ocean. So you wake up in the morning, opening your blinds, and you're there enjoying the sunset.
All right, all my children who are on this show, you have heard. Let us put our money together, get a good discount through my this thing. Let's put money together and get one flat for ourselves, one apartment, and we get a good discount. We go to the beach and enjoy ourselves. So if you're ready to go to that beach house, let us know, and we will link you up to Veronica. God bless you so much.
Pastor Ed, I just want to tell the audience, we are partnering with CDN Bank. So they're offering a loan to facilitate the buyers. So if anyone is interested to buy, we can always link you up with CDN. Anyone who's going to refer a client, they get 3% commission. So when the clients put a 10% deposit, they get 3% of 16 million or 20 million. And we are talking about the Australian well-being business. So you're going to get your money, So guys, refer those clients to us. You're going to get commission. Can you imagine 3% and you refer 3 people? That's good Christmas bonus for you.
So you have had it all our viewers from wherever you are watching. Good morning, good evening, good night. And to our guests, have a beautiful night into the morning to go to work.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye, and say hi to your family.
Okay. God bless. Bye-bye.
When we're in Australia, we will certainly visit you. We would have been there. I normally come with a group of women. We would have been there last year, if not for the pandemic. So we are watching to see how this year we go. If things work out well, you will see us in your domain, and we come and check you out in Australia. God bless you.
Thank you. And thanks for the viewers for watching.
All right.